Okay, are you ready to go to a place with breathtaking castle views across the water, iconic restaurants to grab some grub and fruity cocktails, and island vibes that make you feel like you're at a beachy oasis rather than a hotel only minutes away from Magic Kingdom? Is all of the sand and sun and palm trees worth the money for this super popular location? Well, grab your leis and your flip-flops and let's find out together. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Disney's Polynesian Village Resort is one of the most popular and relaxing places to stay on Disney World property. But with those maxed out tropical vibes also comes a maxed out price tag that might make you question whether you need to invest in Disney's Polynesian Escape or if you'd be better off planning an actual Polynesian getaway sometime down the road for cheaper. So today we're going to break down all the pieces and parts of what's involved in a Polynesian Village Resort vacation to see if it's going to end up being the right fit for you. So what type of a hotel is the Polynesian? Well, this is a deluxe resort located in the gaggle of other Magic Kingdom area resorts like Disney's Contemporary Resort and Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. And there's also Disney's Fort Wilderness and Wilderness Lodge in there as well. Along with standard hotel rooms, you'll also find the Polynesian villas and bungalows, which allow your group to enjoy a more spacious stay at a steeper price. More on that in a second. The hotel has multiple forms of transportation, plenty of places to eat, and lots of activities, which is great. But again, just wait till we start talking about those nightly rates. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take it from the top. Let's get to know Disney's Polynesian Village Resort a little bit better. The Polynesian was one of two opening day resorts back when Magic Kingdom first welcomed guests to its park in 1971. The other resort was Disney's Contemporary Resort. The Polynesian has undergone a lot of changes and additions over the last 50 years, but one thing that's never changed is that tropical atmosphere, which makes us want to pull out our ukuleles and sing songs by the campfire all night long. Unlike some of the other deluxe resorts that can feel a bit stuffy or bougie for groups traveling with smaller kids, the Polynesian is very laid back and family oriented. You got palm trees, you've got Dole Whip, you got poolside volcanoes, and all you can eat noodles for a price. I feel like those points alone could seal the deal as is, but I'd best get into the specifics nonetheless, since that's what I promised. Basically, if you want to feel like you're actually on vacation, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort can make that happen. This is where I always used to go for my first dinner of my Disney World trips before I even started Disney Food Blog, because it made me feel like I was on vacation no matter where I was staying. So constantly hitting up theme park to theme park is exhausting, and coming back to this immersive and lush paradise filled with palm trees and tiki torches and white sand provides you that sigh of relief that you might have been desperately searching for while you were in the 2-hour line to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Magic Kingdom. Recently, Disney's been working hard to incorporate more intellectual properties into its resorts, like the modernized Incredibles room makeovers that happened over at the Contemporary, and the Polynesian was part of that whole IP facelift too. So now all the guest rooms are decked out with Moana Island vibes and intricate design work inspired by Maui's many story-driven tattoos. Lilo and Stitch make a lot of appearances throughout the hotel's atmosphere too. They're not as prevalent as the Motunui princess and her demigod friend, but the Polynesian's design carefully balances the idea of not bombarding guests with Disney character after Disney character, while also providing just enough familiar faces to satisfy kids, making it a fun stay for adults and little ones. Now, will this paradise gobble up all of your vacation funds? Well, you want tropical paradise, you're going to have to pay for a tropical paradise. And yes, the world is very cruel that way. So there's quite the selection of room options within the Polynesians. So what you'll wind up paying is going to vary depending on what you choose. For a standard room, you can expect to pay between $600 and $900 per night during the off-peak season, which is normally around like mid-September. Yeah, you heard me right. Those are the nightly off-season prices. The Polynesian also has club-level rooms and suites. Those are concierge. They're fancier. They have access to a special little lounge, and those are going to give you a lot more amenities, but also cost you a lot more. I'll discuss the amenities right after I finish ripping off all these price bandages for you. For club level rooms, you're looking at paying between $900 and $1,200 per night, while the club level suites range between $1,500 to $3,400 a night. Then there's the Polynesian Villas and Bungalows, aka the Disney Vacation Club portion of the resort. Now remember, although this is a DVC designated part of the hotel, anyone can stay here if there's availability. You can book it the same way you can a regular hotel room in Disney World. So this part of the hotel includes studio-style rooms and the Bora Bora bungalows, which are designed to make you feel like you've been dropped right out in the middle of that beautiful blue Polynesian Ocean. Well, that being said, these are over-the-top expensive. Like, I hope you're sitting down before I tell you what this number is expensive. For one night in one of those bungalows, you can expect to pay around $3,200. Now, that's a big number to fathom paying on your own, but these bungalows do sleep up to 8 people, so maybe your closest pals could go halvesies on this bill if you want to experience a once-in-a-lifetime luxury getaway. Food for thought, but either way, these are very pricey. Like I mentioned before, these are all the typical average prices for those off-peak times, so you can expect to pay around $300 more per night for these rooms around Christmas time and $100 more per night during the summer. So now we know the prices of the rooms, which was kind of a hard pill to swallow, sorry about that. But are these tropical stays worth the hundreds of dollars you're shelling out each night? Let's dissect. The guest rooms are split up across 5 different buildings. The buildings closest to the Great Ceremonial House, where you'll find the lobby, restaurants, and monorail station, are Tonga, Rarotonga, and Niue. The buildings closest to the walking path to the Transportation and Ticket Center are Pago Pago and Moria. As I mentioned before, the guest rooms at the Polynesian were recently reimagined to incorporate those elements from Moana. You'll see her influence in the artwork, carpet designs, curtains, and you might even spot that sneaky little chicken sidekick, hey hey, peeking out from the decor. Imagineers incorporated these Motunui themes all throughout not only the guest rooms, but also the surrounding hallways too. Now, looks aside, let's talk about what amenities the rooms actually include. Standard guest rooms have a few different options when it comes to the view you'll have. You can have a standard view, a lagoon view, a pool and marina view, or my favorite view of them all, the theme park view, which lets you gaze out at Cinderella Castle and see those fireworks at night. Of these options, the theme park view is the priciest, go figure, but overall the prices for these views don't vary a whole lot, with those preferred views costing around an extra $20 per night. Thanks to the added day beds, these standard rooms can sleep up to 5 people. They also include the basic amenities like a coffee maker and small refrigerator, and usually a patio or balcony depending on what floor you're on. Views of the pool or lagoon sound nice in theory, but there's a couple of things to keep in mind if you think you're interested in either option. The pool is pretty, but it can get packed out with swimmers splashing around at all times throughout the day. It's also close by the Great Ceremonial House lawn where kids' activities are held. So if you're camped out in your room for a relaxing night in, it's possible you'll be interrupted by a dance party or whatever movie under the stars is playing that evening. And if you love the sound of happy-go-lucky children living their best Disney lives, that's fantastic. This is the room for you. But again, if you're looking for quiet, it's usually not quiet. For that Seven Seas Lagoon view, brace yourself for frequent blaring horns from the Magic Kingdom ferry boat. They aren't startling per se, like you're not going to jump out of your skin every time they blow, but if you're someone who lives off in the countryside because you have a hard time sleeping inside the city with all the highway sounds, those ferry horns could interrupt that much needed beauty sleep that you've got to have in order to be a fully functioning human in the parks all day. Now, if you want access to even more amenities, then getting a club level room might be your jam. With this type of room, you've got access to the King Kamehameha Club, which serves small bites like continental breakfast, snacks, hors d'oeuvres, and desserts throughout the day. You'll also get complimentary access to the personalized guest services and concierge access. The standard club level rooms and the 1-bedroom suites can each sleep up to 5 people as well, and your view options for the standard rooms include theme park, lagoon, and garden. If you're feeling especially fancy or you're looking for even more wiggle room during your stay, the club level options also include the Ambassador VP Suite, the King Kamehameha Suite, and the Honeymoon Suite. Now, about those DVC villas and bungalows. The deluxe studios sleep up to 5 people and offer either standard views like landscaping or parking and lake views, and that's it. You'll have some added kitchen type amenities like a toaster and microwave to heat up your breakfast bagels and ramen noodle packets or whatever foods you decide to bring from home for some spur of the moment munchies. Though these rooms can sleep up to 5, you'll want to note that there's only one real bed in the room. Besides a queen bed, there's one queen-size pull-down bed that doubles as a seating area during the day, as well as one single pull-down bed. As far as those fancy, dreamy bungalows are concerned, each one can sleep up to 8 adults, like we said. The bungalow includes 2 bedrooms, a small kitchen and eating area, 2 split bathrooms, a living room that doubles as a sleeping area at night, and an outdoor patio with a plunge pool on the lagoon. That's right, you get your own little plunge pool, which means it's a tiny pool. Bungalows also include a kitchen with a stove, an oven, dishwasher, refrigerator, refrigerator and a washer and dryer, giving it that nice home away from home vibe. The bungalow is decorated with bright colors, sleek and warm designs, and Polynesian touches like conch shells, floral accents, and even surfboard headboards. The plunge pool is a swanky addition to the private deck, but don't plan on doing any major swimming. Think of it more like a small hot tub minus the hot. All in all, the bungalows are spacious, well decorated, and capture that certain sense of island escapism. But even $3,000 a day won't block out the sounds of the ferry boats crossing the lagoon at night. You've been warned. So now, is this a tropical hideaway? Well, location has to be one of the biggest perks of staying at the Polynesian Village Resort, particularly if Magic Kingdom is your go-to park. The Polynesian sits along the monorail loop among other monorail resorts like the Grand and the Contemporary, and despite the hotel being so close to Magic Kingdom, which is known for being a hop and bop and good time, there are some quiet spots around the hotel that might just allow you to forget you're in Disney World, if only for a brief moment, thanks to the immersive theming and the overall tropical vacation vibe. On the other hand, this is a very popular hotel, both with people staying there and people visiting to eat at the restaurants and just check it out. So there might be times where the lobby or pool area feel a little too noisy and crowded. Overall, it's a good spot to escape from that hectic Magic Kingdom life for a bit, but it's not quite as secluded as other nearby hotels like Disney's Wilderness Lodge or Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campgrounds. Okay, now it's time to talk about how to get from here to there if you're staying at the Polynesian and how convenient it is. Well, Disney World is seriously big, like the size of San Francisco big. And with that being said, you're going to need to know how to get around. For some folks who bring their cars, it'll be simple. You just drive from park to park. But if you do bring your car, you're going to have to pay $25 per night for parking at this hotel. So make sure to plan that into your budget too. But if you don't plan on navigating the wonderful world of roads and highways, you're going to need to know how to get around using Disney World's complimentary transportation. Gotta say this one more time. To get to Magic Kingdom from the Polynesian, you can either take a boat, a monorail, or your own 2 feet, because the park is literally right there. The convenience is glorious. The monorail is just 2 stops away from the park and will give you some epic views of all the sights surrounding the Seven Seas Lagoon while you loop around. For boat access, there's a dock behind the resort's main pool, which is going to take you across the lagoon to the park. But if you feel the need to add even more walking into your day, you can take the path to the Grand Floridian and continue on to Magic Kingdom, which will take you about 25 minutes or so. Word of advice, shoes with arch support are going to be your BFF if you're going to walk to and from Magic Kingdom every day. The Epcot monorail is also easily accessible from the Transportation and Ticket Center, which you can walk to from the hotel. If you'd rather not walk, you can take the regular monorail all the way around Seven Seas Lagoon and transfer lines at the Transportation and Ticket Center, but it's probably going to be faster to walk. As far as Disney's Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and Disney Springs are concerned, you're going to have to take that bus. Buses run every 20 minutes or so, but the bus route is also shared with Grand Floridian guests sometimes, so be prepared for a longer and potentially more crowded ride. Ultimately, this hotel is ideal if you like to spend a lot of your time at Magic Kingdom, but if you prefer to devote most of your park days to Hollywood Studios or Epcot, if you spend a lot of time at Disney Springs, you might prefer one of the deluxe options closer to those areas, like Disney's Boardwalk Inn or Disney's Yacht and Beach Club. All right, now this is why you really came, right? It's time to talk Polynesian Village Resort food. Some people might argue that food is a major factor when you're deciding on which hotel to book. It's me, I'm some people. But in all seriousness, even if you aren't a guest at one of the hotels that has the restaurant you're dying to try, you can still book a reservation at that restaurant no matter where you wind up staying. And that goes for the restaurants at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort too. That being said, having superb dining within walking distance of your hotel room is definitely a perk. And when it comes to Polynesian's dining rooms, this is a major perk. So let's start out talking about the Polynesian's super popular table service restaurant, Ohana. All right, Ohana is definitely a crowd pleaser, maybe a little too much of a crowd pleaser, considering it can be extremely difficult to snag an advanced dining reservation here. Gonna make sure to jump on those resis exactly 60 days before your trip to get a table here, otherwise they will be gone in a snap. Ohana serves heaping portions for both breakfast and dinner, which will stuff you to the brim. It's especially filling if you're wanting to get your money's worth and take full advantage of the all-you-care-to-enjoy aspect of this meal. For breakfast, we're looking at around $25 per adult and around $50 per adult for dinner. But with those steep prices, you're also going to experience relatively high-quality Hawaiian-style eats. Breakfast is going to include a selection of standard morning options like scrambled eggs, sausage links, and Mickey waffles. I know, sounds pretty Hawaiian, right? And there'll be some unique selections thrown in the mix like the freshly made pineapple coconut breakfast bread and the Stitch smoothie. But heads up, that smoothie's going to cost you extra. For dinner, brace your stomach for the massive amounts of grilled meats and piles of ohana noodles and that delicious ohana bread pudding. And if you dine while Disney Enchantment is happening over at Magic Kingdom, there's a possibility you could get a window seat by the fireworks to enjoy dinner and a show. But you will have to request fireworks seating ahead of time, and it's never guaranteed. Kona Cafe is another table service option at the Polynesian Village Resort, available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Its menu features Asian-influenced foods like specialty sushi rolls, tonga toast, and macadamia nut pancakes. So you get a little taste of the islands in there too. Tambu Lounge is the spot to grab cocktails in small bites, with some of them even coming straight out of the ohana kitchen. By the way, even if you don't see it listed on the menu, try ordering the ohana noodles. Sometimes they'll be available for you to purchase here a la carte after 4 p.m. Now, one of the staple drinks at Tambu Lounge is the Lapu Lapu, a rum cocktail served in a pineapple with that signature little umbrella peeking up over the top. Kona Island, right next to Kona Cafe, is a small kiosk in the Polynesian lobby where you can grab a quick breakfast or snack without dealing with crowds and long lines. One of the specialty items at Kona Island is the chocolate-covered bacon. That's very sweet, it's very salty, and you're on vacation, so go nuts and try a bite. Captain Cook's is the Polynesian's main quick service location. You used to be able to get a meal here 24/7. During COVID, that stopped. We'll see if it comes back. But if you've got a sweet tooth, check out the bakery display case and the refrigerators. There are often going to be seasonal cupcakes in there that are welcoming you to the hotel. Now, Trader Sam's Grotto is a hidden, fully immersive bar with a cult following. It's first come, first serve here, so don't worry about making any advanced dining reservations. There are thousands of hidden details throughout Trader Sam's, and parts of the bar itself come to life. For real though, try ordering one of those specialty drinks to trigger an actual event. You might make a volcano erupt off in the distance or unintentionally upset the tiki gods. Maybe you'll awaken the giant squid. But if you want a more low-key drinking experience and one that's maybe easier to get into, Trader Sam's Tiki Terrace is outdoors and it's the place to go for unique cocktails without the shenanigans. Here you can sit outside next to the lagoon and take in the tranquil vibes of the hotel. Barefoot Pool Bar and Oasis Bar and Grill are there for any drinks you might need during your pool day. There's also a small selection of bites on the menu like salads and apps to hold you over in between meals. And finally, we've got Pineapple Lanai, home of the Dole Whip at Disney's Polynesian Village. There are multiple flavors aside from the traditional pineapple, but I love those happy times when I stumble on an exclusive Dole Whip flavor here, which happens seasonally and for every holiday usually. The Spirit of Aloha Dinner Show used to be a fun interactive luau show available for guests, but that experience is now permanently closed to make way for a future project, which I'll be talking more about soon. Now, contrary to popular belief, there's a lot more to do in Disney World than ride roller coasters and meet Mickey Mouse. The Polynesian Village Resort offers a lot of unique activities to do during your time away from the theme parks, or maybe those days you don't want to pay for tickets. Kids can enjoy daily activities on the Great Ceremonial House lawn, like crafts and dancing, hula hoop contests, and other fun, active, and creative experiences. They can also hang out at Kiki Tiki's splash play area right next to the lava pool. Speaking of the pool, have you ever wanted to slide down a volcano and make a splash at the end? The lava pool can help check that off your rather bizarre bucket list. If you're looking for a less rambunctious pool, though, with fewer volcano slides, there are quieter pools scattered around the hotel that can provide you with a more relaxing experience, or maybe a more boring experience, depends on how you look at it. And what's a tropical island without a white sand beach? The Polynesian's beachside area overlooks the Seven Seas Lagoon. You can sit back and enjoy the views on one of the provided hammocks or beach chairs. And the beachside is another great viewing spot for the Magic Kingdom fireworks. By the way, it's free to sit out there and watch the fireworks and the nightly electrical water pageant. Because of the hotel's access to the Seven Seas Lagoon, you can rent a boat at the marina and sail across the lake, past the ferry boats and around the outside of the Magic Kingdom. You can even go fishing if you feel so inspired. If you're ready to spend your vacation souvenir cash too, there are a couple shops inside the resort's lobby, including Boutiquey and Moana Mercantile. Boutiquey is all about Polynesian fashion, but also tends to sell other souvenirs you might not be able to find anyplace else in Disney World, like Trader Sam's drinking glasses, little tropical plants, and even Aulani-inspired merchandise pulled from the Disney Hotel and Spa based in Hawaii. Moana Mercantile has more basic Disney souvenirs and a few last-minute necessity items, just in case you forgot something back home. It happens all the time. Okay, two major things before we go into whether the cost of this hotel is worth the experience. Number one, early theme park entry and extended evening hours. When you're a guest at any of the Disney World hotels or at select Good Neighbor hotels, you'll be able to enter any of the Disney World theme parks on any day 30 minutes before the parks officially open, as long as you've got a park pass for that particular park. And when you're a guest at any of the deluxe Disney World resorts, you'll be able to stay in select parks on select nights for an extra hour or two after the parks officially close. If you want to fully use the extended evening hours perk during your trip while you're staying at the Polynesian, make sure to check the Disney World website calendar beforehand to see which parks will have this benefit available for you to use. Major thing number 2, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort is expanding. Disney Vacation Club recently announced that new villas will be coming to Disney's Polynesian Village Resort in late 2024. According to Disney, these new villas will be inspired by the early concepts for Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. We'll continue to keep you in the loop about what we're seeing and hearing about this project as more details are released, but heads up, there's going to be some construction going on that may impact your particular stay. All right, let's bring it all together, friends, and determine whether you should stay here during your upcoming visit. Okay, why should you not stay at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort? Well, you already know what the first point is going to be here, right? It costs a lot, even if you're staying in a standard room. If you're looking to stay at a hotel with a tropical vibe but at a lower price, you may want to check out Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. And this is a moderate alternative, meaning you won't have the same deluxe amenities you will at Disney's Polynesian Village, but you will be able to stay at Disney's Caribbean Beach for a lot less, and you'll be on the Skyliner route with easy access to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Speaking of which, if Magic Kingdom isn't your vibe and you prefer to visit Epcot or Studios, but you still want those deluxe accommodations, then maybe it makes sense to look into the Epcot resorts like Boardwalk Inn or Yacht and Beach Club. These will provide you with faster and more direct access to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. You might even get to be within walking distance to Epcot if you get a room next to the International Gateway. And most of the deluxe resorts by Epcot are also walking distance to Epcot and Studios. And if Magic Kingdom really is your go-to park, then it comes down to theming preference here. The Polynesian does put you in a prime spot to get to Magic Kingdom, but the Grand Floridian and the Contemporary are both closer and they have completely different themes. At comparable price points, you'll have to look at the other aspects of each hotel to decide if you want to choose the Polynesian over the other monorail resort options. One more note, Disney's Polynesian Village is extremely popular, meaning we're finding fewer and fewer open reservations for it nowadays. If you're planning on going to Disney World soon, then you might be forced to choose another place to stay simply because there might not be any rooms available. If you want to make the Polynesian a priority, plan to book a room here way in advance. I'm talking months, maybe even a year out. So why should you stay at the Polynesian Village Resort? Well, if you're looking for a hotel that will please everyone in your family, the Polynesian's a good option. If you've got the budget all planned and ready to go, then the relaxing tropical ambiance is enough to put adults at ease, and all the fun activities will keep the kids entertained. Remember, volcano pool, right? Now, another great part of the Polynesian is that there are so many awesome dining options right on site. Of course, you don't need to stay here to eat at its restaurants, so if you'd rather make the trek over specifically to check out one or two spots, then that's totally cool too. If your family loves to see the fireworks but hates the crowds, then the Polynesian's beachside is a much more peaceful and spread out place to view them from. And all in all, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort is a great getaway with some of the best hotel theming, some of the best dining on property, and those memory-making opportunities. So it's up to you to decide which way your aloha is going to go. Are you going to say hello to a vacation at this tropical oasis, or are you going to say thanks but no thanks and continue your Disney resort search? Whatever the case may be, keep DFB close by and we'll continue to provide you with all the updates, details, and pros and cons for all the Disney World-owned hotels. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Vlog, and we'll see you real soon.